I don't know what it is, but as much as I want to put to bed the police shortcomings we have in the UK and get on with other topics, more and more shit turns up that relates to the policing in the UK. The latest staggering failure in the police institution is that the Metropolitan Police, the UK's largest police force, is on the brink of financial collapse. The Financial Times wrote an article about this, and I'm going to quote the figures from that article. I'll leave the link in the description below so you can read the whole article if you want to. The Met's budget crisis has been looming for quite a while now. Since 2010, they've sold off over 2/3 of their buildings. All those police stations closing down was because they were running out of money. They raised nearly £1 billion from selling off the police stations, but instead of using these funds to build a sustainable future, they've just burned through them by maintaining outdated systems, inefficiency in using resources, wasting money on PR and political correctness and woke gimmicks. Today they're left with just 200 buildings, a shadow of their former resources, and nearly 3/4 of their £443 million reserves was spent in the past year alone. 3/4 of it in just 1 year. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to work out policing all these demos costs money. Making wrong arrests because the officers don't understand the law has consequences, financial consequences. It all costs money and it all adds up. So how much do they have left? Apparently just a measly £113 million for the entire 2025 to 2026. And it's not that the Met have a small budget. The Met's annual budget is £3.5 billion, yet despite such huge budget and selling all those prime location buildings, they're still unable to make ends meet. They've exhausted every financial lifeline, from property sales to reserve funds. Former commissioners themselves admit they've run out of tools to balance the books. They're paying the mortgage with their savings, all because of piss-poor management and wrong priorities. But it's not just about the money. They're not just financially on the brink of bankruptcy. Their members are demoralised. Morale is at rock bottom. Over 5,000 officers left within 5 years of joining. So what's the current Home Secretary's solution? Spending an extra £500 million for next year, sprinkled across the entire country. So not all of that £500 million is for the Met Police. Some of it is going to be left for the Met Police. I'm not a businessman, but I assume it's basic business acumen that if you pour money into a failing organisation without making repairs to stop it from bleeding, you will just bleed more. Any extra money without making repairs into the system will just disappear, just like the extra £1 billion from the sale of the properties disappeared. So we have to ask, why is it the Met allowed to go on the same path as before if this has led to bankruptcy? Why were reserves spent so recklessly? Whose responsibility was it? Which heads must roll? If a company fails, surely the CEO is kicked out. And why do ordinary Londoners have to pay the price of the leadership failures? This isn't just a numbers game. It's about public trust and safety. The Met has failed to adapt, failed to plan, and now they're failing the people they serve. It's time for accountability. London deserves better. Leave your thoughts in the comments below. Do you think the Met can recover from this, or are we watching a slow motion disaster?